thank you for making the time to come to our Webmaster webinar. I know that summers are busy, but we have to cover our topics when we can, right? And that's the point of recording our webinars. So if you go to the WBLS website, under Member Services, you can find website resources. And there you'll find the recording of all of our webinars. So this will be our third, and it'll go right here. I recorded our workshops and did little bullet points of what we covered. And then how-to resources. So how to get to the Elegant Themes Divi tutorials, how to create a homepage slide, how to edit your new title carousels. So those are the book covers on the front page of your websites or in the interior pages, depending how you wanted it set up. And I also created a video for embedding a Google Calendar after our workshop. It was such a hit that I thought it would be worth making a video for. And then some other support tools. Plus, I like this sweet map of all of the libraries participating in this service. There's quite a bit, right? It's pretty awesome. So, okay. So, first, when we say calendar plugins, we're talking about having a web page dedicated to a calendar of events. And Somerset is pretty unique because I think they're the only ones using the Tockify calendar plugin here. So they have it set to the agenda view, and you can click into an event, and they'll talk more about this. Now I want to compare that to the library's Win calendar page, because we have just a pretty simple calendar and it doesn't look as hot as the Somerset calendar. You can see it's pretty text heavy. It's usually just about events that are for library directors or system staff. So it's not really meant for the public. That's where Tockify comes in handy. And I'll give you one more Google Calendar example before we go back to Tockify so you can see the big difference. So here's the events calendar page for TB Scott Free Library over in Merrill. And they have an embedded Google Calendar. I don't know if you guys, my screen is going kind of wonky, so I don't know what you guys are seeing. No, you guys, yeah, you're seeing these weird wonky black squares. I think it's an issue with my computer, so we'll ignore that, right? But you can see that they have reoccurring events like the story times. And when you click on an event, you can copy it to your calendar. And earlier I clicked on this and it knew I had a Google Calendar, so I automatically wanted to add it to my Google Calendar. But what happens if you have, you know, Outlook calendar or a different calendar, iCalendar? What does that look like? We don't know. So Megan and Ginny from Somerset are going to talk about the Somerset Tockify plugin usage, their process of not being happy with the calendar that they had, and how did they find Tockify, and what are the benefits of Tockify. Are there any cons to using Tockify? They'll talk about that. So I am going to switch presenters here if I can find them, and I'm going to switch it to Ginny and Megan. Take presenter. And Ginny and Megan, I don't know if everybody has met you, so if you want to give yourself a quick introduction, and Ginny, you as well.
Well, I'm Megan, and I am the youth services for the Somerset Library. And I'm Ginny, I'm the director. And we had our calendar in Drupal, which was a nightmare. So when it was suggested that it was no longer going to be supported by our system, we decided, okay, let's do this and let's do it right. And we used to have to make the calendar in the Drupal website. The problem here is that Megan's part-time, I'm full-time, but I'm the only full-time person, and I have just a lot of things on my plate. So the beautiful thing about Tockify is that it's web-based and anyone can log in and add to the calendar. So if you have a bigger staff or 3 people are in charge of your web page, this is wonderful. You don't publish it until you're ready to put it on your site. And we like how it looks on a phone, which is
Ooh.
kind of nice. The thing is, Tockify offers 3 views, but you have to pay if you want more than one option. So there's a traditional horizontal calendar there with 7 days across the board. And we can show you what that looks like, but it's you have to pay for it, for the privilege of having more options. And this is free.
All right. So are you on your website or are you on the Tockify website? Because
we're on Tockify right now.
So do you start by downloading the plugin on your website and then linking from there, or how does it work?
We start by downloading it on the web page. So it was under plugins, add new, and then you would search for it, and then install it. So ours is right here. So once it's installed, it's ready to use, and then you access and work on your calendar on the web page. So this is the Tockify web page.
Did you
It also has the copy and paste feature. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it has that same feature when you have repeating events like story time every Wednesday at whatever. So that was also something that we looked at. So we didn't have to type and type and type.
Oh goodness, I thought you couldn't have repeat events in here for free, so that's awesome.
Yeah, you can.
Awesome. Did you, when you downloaded the plugin, did you have to add like a URL or an access code from the Tockify website to tie it to your WordPress website?
Yes. So up here it says add to your site. So once you're done making any adjustments, every time you would click this. But it will show you right here this, and you'd copy and paste it the first time. Otherwise, it automatically does it every time.
Wonderful.
You're seeing our screen, right? You can see the embedded code.
You bet. So do you want to walk us through how you set up an event?
Sure. We're going to have Elvis come because one of us in this room feels like he is the most rocking performer ever. So we're going to name it Elvis. And he's probably coming on Sunday.
Why Sunday?
because if this goes live, people will know we're actually closed.
Okay, good. Okay.
So this is a pretend event.
Yeah.
We will do a real one too.
Elvis.
So he's coming at 10, and we have a picture of him in my file. Keep going, keep going.
There he is. It's him.
So I just downloaded him from the, the interweb, and he's a JPEG. Yep, and then you can choose the different sizes here. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't, because this is a square right now, and on the plugin it's a circle. So sometimes things will get cropped.
Good point.
If that matters. But we love free, so we're going with free. And then you just type in a description. Just say meet and greet. Alright, you can add in a map view, the venue name, street, directions if you want, save changes, and then once you've done that, and if it's a reoccurring event, you can always copy it, and then change the day. It's next Sunday. And then save changes again, and you can keep doing that if it's another recurring event. And then once you're done, you just click Add to Site.
Now I'm seeing a couple buttons in there, if I can ask about, right underneath the title, it said RSVP. So if you click on Elvis, I bet you can get back in there, right? Oh. There we go. So if you go up a little bit, up right there. What are those buttons for? Oh.
Yep, that's subscription only.
Okay.
Is there a way, Megan, to get his head to show up? Because like you said, the shape of the JPEG is different. Can we? I mean, because sometimes that might be really important, whatever the top of that image is.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Oh, so we can crop it. Wait, how'd you do that?
So this one would make it longer. They're just different sizes.
Because it says free here, I thought that you could only choose the original. So you can change the dimensions. Yep. Look what I learned today, Mom.
Great. So now you can see Elvis's head.
Cool.
Yay. All right. So that is one fake event, which is actually on our site. So now the only way to get it off is to actually log into our website. Am I right, Megan?
No, you can delete it right here.
What? Are you kidding me? This is why we picked it. Because we do not have 20 web-savvy people on our staff who can go into WordPress and do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we do have a real event. So if anyone has any questions on how to add that, we could do another one real quick.
I don't see any questions coming in, but people can type them in as they have them.
Okay.
Nothing in the chat either, so.
Okay. So we'll add one more.
You know more about this one than I do.
Okay. So it's Skeeter, S-K-E-E-T-E-R, the clown.
No!
Yes. Skeeter the Clown is coming on July 5th at 12:30.
Like an hour.
For a half hour before our make and take program. And we have a picture of Skeeter. So this is in my computer again. It's just a clown, yeah.
So you probably would want something about that size for it all to show up.
Okay.
I like all the Disney on there.
Okay.
You might want to change the event to PM, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Good point. Mm-hmm. Meet and greet. So Skeeter's coming just as part of the circus that's coming to town, sponsored by the Lions.
Cool.
Skeeter came last year, and so we could add more information for those people who don't know that it's free and that it's, you know, here at the library.
Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting, just like on Divi when you have to click update all the time, on this you have to click update or add to your site all the time.
Yep, that's what makes it go live.
Hmm.
Because right now we're not on our web page. So you can mess around to your heart's content.
Okay, I think we have a question float in. Alice is asking, can event listings in month mode have a color coding? Let's see.
So there is a way to show you the other views. Yeah. So there's the monthly view, but this, I believe, I mean, from what I understand is you get one version. So if you pick this monthly version, you're good to go, but we wanted the agenda version. If you want all of them, then I believe you pay for it. And when you hover, you get more details.
Oh, fun. Oh, fun. That's cool. But you guys kind of like the images to show up right away, so they didn't have to make any effort. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, initially I thought this is great because we put hard copies of our calendar of monthly events on our counter and say, you know, free, please take one. Not very many people do, and so it hasn't been a huge issue. I don't think we need to pay for this. No one said, I can't read your calendar. I don't know what's happening ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people are mostly checking it on their phone, I gotta say.
Okay.
Which is why we like how it looks.
If you went back a screen, I saw a button for customization, and I just didn't, okay. Maybe it's a different screen. Maybe it was back on your website up top. Yeah, up at the top it says view calendar or customize. What happens when you click into there? Can you like change the color scheme behind things, or?
You have to pay.
Okay. Okay. But it's not a horrible color. It's a coral, you know. Not really.
Yeah.
All right. And the same thing goes with the Google embedded calendars. You can change a little, but it's not like you can change everything too. So.
And sometimes the more choices, it's more confusing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about your viewer. And, you know, if you're over, let's say, 50 as an example, like maybe one of us in this room, it's harder to read certain things,
Right.
depending upon the font color. And so not everyone realizes that.
Okay.
And we can't customize it on this end.
Mm-hmm.
I guess people can customize it the way they read it if they needed to, for size and font.
Mm-hmm. So is there a way that we could see what the different prices would be in here?
The different what, Ann?
Prices. So if you chose to pay.
That's a good question.
Do you think it would be under settings
or maybe home?
Subscription?
There we go.
Sign up to get off. Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh,
there
okay. So you get the pinboard style, the month style, the mini calendar, customize, that's changing colory things. Oh, and up to 20,000 views per month. Okay. You can sync it with Google Calendar at that point instead of editing and inputting each event. I'm just reading this off of the monthly premium one. Cool. Use your own font. Ooh. Attach attachments.
We're just not that fancy.
Right. And I think that, you know, you found a plugin that meets all your requirements, meets what you needed to be done. You know,
it does let you link, which is something that we just added. So we have a performer coming next week who has a web page, and it lets you link or put a link in.
Awesome.
And take you out.
Very cool.
So step on by if you want to see some Celtic music.
Does anybody have any more questions about Tockify, or do you ladies want to share anything else that is your favorite feature of it, or any feedback you've heard from your website users?
It's really not been, it hasn't been more than 6 months, has it?
Okay.
No, it's been new since probably January.
Yeah, so it hasn't really been that long, and we like it, and that's all we care. I'm kidding.
That's all we have time for. Yeah.
That's all we have time for.
Yeah. Okay.
No, so just creating that taking it out to the performers page was kind of a new thing that we discovered. So
Yeah. I think it looks very professional.
Well, Megan is 99% brains and brawn behind this project.
Go, Megan.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see here. So I think we are all set to hand back the screen sharing. So I'm going to show my screen. I stole it. Thank you, my ladies, and thank you, my friends. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm going to check the audience view to see what you guys are seeing, and I do believe that you guys are seeing the website that I'm sharing. Just let me know if you can hear me, because all of a sudden I can't hear Ginny and Megan. So, can you guys hear me okay? I'm just going to keep on chatting. So, oh.
I can hear you fine, Ann. I unplugged the mic.
Very cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
All right. So now I thought we could talk about the Google Calendar. And I know that if you guys were there May 17th for the workshop, that you guys saw a little bit of Sarah Mars from TB Scott Library and Merrill talking about how to embed a Google Calendar. And as you can see here, you can switch it to the agenda view, but you know there's not space for an image like there was on Tockify. The good thing is you can switch easily between week, month, and agenda view. When you hover over an event, it'll give you, or I click on mine, so I don't know what your guys' would do, but I click on mine and it says that I can copy to my calendar. If we look back at the Tockify calendar events, and I forgot to ask about this, is you can share it on social media, right? And you can also save it in your calendar. So I'm going to click on that, and just to see what it does, I can add it to a Google Calendar, an iCalendar, an Outlook Calendar, Yahoo Calendar. So man, that's just another positive for Tockify. Ginny and Megan, have you used this feature to save it to, you know, like has anybody talked about saving it to their own calendar or sharing it on Facebook, or how do you guys share your events?
I haven't gotten any personal feedback.
Okay.
We have a lot of people go to our Facebook page to find out what events are happening.
Okay.
We get a lot of hits there.
Okay.
If they're integrated, I just don't know.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to click on it and see what it would look like for me just as a library user. So I'm going to share it to my Facebook page, and I can say, Somerset, oops, if I spell it right, rocks, you know, and then it would keep the image and the time. That's wonderful. That's nice. And Google Calendar, I do not see an option to do that. When I click on more details, because I have a Google Calendar, it'll open it up right in here. Let's get out of there. And of course, a Google Calendar, if you have repeat events, it'll just show the repeat events in here too. And we can see some of that showing up here as the family story times are there, right? And the Raptor Camp. To embed a gosh, the controls are in the way. So if you want to embed a Google Calendar, what you do is you find the calendar that you want to embed, and you find the three options, and you go to Settings and Sharing. You scroll down. First, you take a look at the access permissions, and you make sure it's available to the public so the public can see it. That doesn't mean that they can edit it or anything, but they can see it. Excuse me. You scroll down a little bit more, and you find the area where it says Embed Code. So I can either click on this and embed it as it is, or I can click on Customize and adjust it in here. Let's say that I only want them to see the month tab. Then I'll unclick the tabs on the top left. Or what does the calendar list do? And that's what the calendar list does. If you click on the date, it takes the date off, or if you don't want them to be able to skip ahead to July, you can take that off. I'm not sure why you would do that. If you want a different calendar title, maybe you could do this is for your own labeling, it looks like. Oh, no, it does change right here. So that's pretty cool. The default, we could have it as the week, monthly, or agenda view, just like Tockify had for Somerset. I think we prefer the month. With my page on the website is, I want to say 1080? No, it's got to be 1200 or so. So I like a nice big image. So usually, let's try that. So you can see how it changes the view right there. Language, you can change all the different languages. Week starts on, if you want, Sunday through Saturday, which is what I'm used to. You can have that, or you can have the week start on Monday through Saturday, which I think kind of throws people. They don't even look at the top anymore. They assume it goes, Sunday through Saturday, right? Now let's say background color. I like purple, so that can change up there. I don't really like that. For the yellow in here, if you don't enjoy that color, you can change it by clicking on the calendar itself. We'll just leave it at yellow. You can change the time zone. Okay, so we've made all these changes. So what we do is we click Update HTML. We copy all of the code there. And then we find the page that we want to add it to. I'm just going to put it underneath our other calendar here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a code module. So here's the other calendar code that I did. I'm going to find a code module here. I'm going to insert that code that I just stole from right here. And when you kind of pick apart the code, you can see the changes that we had made on the other page, right? So let's give it a name so we know which one we're looking at. So here's our code test, and I'll hit Update. So it'll show on our website, and I'll click on View Page, and once you know it, here should be. Here is our code, but I notice it's off-center, right? Let's see how these behave. These look pretty good, back and forth, but I just don't like that it's off-center. So what I can do is go to the code module. And in the design, you can say I want it to be centered. Find the update button, view the page, and hot dog, now it's centered. So let's say I want it even bigger, well, to match this calendar up top. What you can do is you can go back into your calendar settings and keep monkeying in here by changing the width to, let's say, 1100 pixels, right? Or you could find the code that talks about the width right in here and change it right there and view the page. And there it is. You'll see it's nice and big now. So it's really up to you on what you want your calendar to accomplish. The system calendar doesn't really require images as much as, say, Somerset. One of your libraries would need the appearance to look really sassy. You want people to stay on your page and look at it. So, anybody have questions about embedding a Google Calendar? Like I mentioned, we do have the Google Calendar video on the website resources page under how-to resources. There it is right there, embedding a Google Calendar. I did want to mention that TB Scott does a great job of using Google Forms as well as Google Calendars. And you can embed a form as well, just like we did for a Google Calendar, to customize what information you're requesting in that form. And you can see the perfect unison here would be if you have a meeting room that you want to have give the public access to book. You can embed a form that you create in Google Forms that would send you an email when someone wanted to request a room, and then you can plug it into the correct room's calendar yourself. So just a little bit more interaction opportunity for the public using your calendar there. So I'm looking on here for questions, and I'm not seeing any questions about Google Calendar Embedding or Tockify. So let's quickly jump to claiming your library in Google search results. Now, what does this mean? Let's take a look. So when I say that we need to claim our libraries in a Google result, I'm talking about this feature box over here on the right-hand side. You can click on the website button and go to the website. You can look at the hours of the library. So the first thing the public can do is suggest and edit, right? So if Loyal's website were ever to move, I could suggest and edit and give them the correct website address. So here's a perfect example. The Gilman Library recently just came through with a new website, and I suggested the new website in the Google results on the far right. As you can see, this is the new website popping up, but it says, do you own this business? So that means that the Gilman Library Google search result has not yet been claimed. I don't see any hours in here. Maybe their phone number changed. Who knows? But it's important to claim your business so you can get accurate and quick updates in this search area if you need to. You know, our library hours change with the summer and fall sometimes. So I, as a public person, can suggest and edit, and it takes longer for that effect to happen, right? Let's look at so you can add our suggest and edit. Do you own this business? Now, I'm sure that there's a little bit of rigmarole if you want to claim a business. You kind of got to prove it, right? But I have found that many of the larger libraries have claimed their businesses, but not many of the smaller businesses. So, and if you guys had been with me an hour ago, we would have had a message here saying, success, your edit is live, right here, because I had made a suggestion to add the new website on the Leona page and on the Gilman page. But of course, they took it down right before our webinar together, so I can't show you. But it's just one of those important steps. It helps with search engine optimization, so to get your website higher in the search results. As you can see, for the Edith Evans Community Library or the Leona Public Library, I don't see their website popping up in the top results. And that's because it's a newer website and it just was added to here. It takes a long time for a Google web crawler to find those new websites and to add them to the search results. So doing these little steps of claiming your business and adding the website and putting your new website on your Facebook and telling all your friends, it helps that happen more quickly. Just touching on that, it's important to make sure that your Facebook pages have the same information that your websites do. Let's see. They do not have their current website on their Facebook for Leona or the Edith Evans Community Library. So little things make a big difference when it comes to Google search results and search engine optimization. The next webinar is going to be in July, and I believe it's July 20th. Let me check next to me. Kara Hart from Nielsville is going to be talking about the Yoast SEO plugin that they use to help with search engine optimization. Kara does a lot of poking around on her own website duties done. Yeah, so July 20th, also at 1 p.m., we're going to be talking about search engine optimization and all of these little duties that you can do, and then also exploring a plugin to help you get higher in your search engine ranks. Now, some libraries don't really need to have need to be higher in search engine ranks. Let's see how Ellie Phillips library is doing. Oh, well, that's a great search term, but let's try it anyways. There we go. So they're number 1 here. So I don't help with the Ellie Phillips website. I don't know if they have an SEO or search engine optimization work going on in the background, but there's a lot of information on what not to do out there with trying to get higher in search results that have been standard practice in the past. So it's important for all of us to be there, or at least watch the webinar for next time too. Now it is 1:38. That means we have 20 minutes left over if you guys have individual questions about your website that we can work through as a group. So I'll be looking at the search box to see if anybody has any questions about their website that we want to tackle right now. Jenny had asked, what if there's something I want to try on my website but I don't want it to be live? Well, I would recommend having a test page. So I made a test page in draft. You can see that it's not live for the public to be viewing, but a test page that's not linked to any of the other pages, where she and Megan can test drive a few new changes. And remember, we saved all of your headers and footers and your menus in the Divi library. So when you create a test page, it's not a whole bunch of work to get it looking like one of your other pages again. One other thing is on here on the right-hand side, when you create a test page, it'll be in draft, and your habit will be to update using the blue button, but the blue button in this case would be publish. That's okay if you accidentally hit it, because up here in the edit, under the status, you can go edit and move it back to a draft, right? So, and at that point, if you make changes, then a button will appear over here that says Save Draft. And of course, it's not populating that Save Draft button for me right now, but it will be an option. So I'm going to check the chat, and I don't see anything in the chat. Now I'm going to check the questions, and I don't see anything in the questions. So one other thing, Ginny says, well, I want to try out a few things on the home page. So what we did is copy this whole main section to put it on, or save that whole section to put it on the test page. And how you do that is find the area that you want to copy, find either the section, the row, or the module that you want to copy. Click on the editing icon here, the setting icon. You want to save it to your library. Test for playing. I gave it an obnoxious name because I know that I already have a test in the in the library there. And then next I'm going to go to the page that I had set up as a test page. Here's our test page. And then if I want to insert that area that I saved to my library, go add from my library. Here's our test for playing, and see, we also have a section for button plates. So here's my test for playing, and boom, there it is. I didn't have to do all that extra work of formatting or anything in there. Okay, so we have a question popping up that says, is the donate block PayPal code or a built-in segment? Good question. First of all, I need to see how you guys did it. So Somerset used a text module settings, and they have a linked image to their donate area. Jenny, do you want to talk about that?
We had it set up by our foundation because the donations go through, we don't have a 501c3, so we are part of the St. Croix Valley Foundation, and they have a webmaster who did it in like 9 seconds, where it would have taken me about a year. So I always ask for help when I don't know, and they just gave us the code and said, here's what you do. So we did it and didn't screw it up.
So we are on the test page, so I can play here. So what I would first do is just take a peek at the Amazon icon or the Amazon smile icon that you want to use as your button, or maybe you want to make your own donate button. What you would do is if you're using an image, you'd have the image in here from your library, and then you can link it using that code, right? Or let's see what else we can do. We could add our own button. Let's find the button icon. Not the button icon. Oh, here's the button module. Donate. And then, of course, the button URL, which would lead you to the Amazon Smile page or your PayPal account or whatever it is, right? And then you can do your design. So it doesn't have to look super lame. You know, they have all these different styles here. Gosh, all of these control boxes are kind of annoying. Content, button URL, admin, CSS. There's plenty of these custom styles, background color. Let's just do a gradient. There we go. And text button color will be white, and button size, that looks nice. And we can do all this stuff. Font. Weight, I always do ultra bold. Not always, but you know what I mean. So I'll go up and we can see what that looks like. So again, you can have a little blurb on, you know, donate to the library, blah, blah, blah. Or you could just make your own button that's linked somewhere. So this isn't linked anywhere, but it sits here. So you could use a button under your little explanation, or you can still use those donate buttons, images that Amazon gives you or your PayPal gives you or anything like that. So I'll delete my crazy button. But it doesn't take much to make a button look professional or a donate image look professional. So I don't see any other questions coming in the chat or questions. Okay.
We also have the book slider on the front of our page too. I don't know if anyone out there needs a quick tutorial on that. Megan figured it out from your directions, which were easy peasy.
Good. Yeah. So
these are just a new series of books that we wanted to highlight.
Let's take a look at some other ones. Who would have them live? I think Fall Creek has one. Let's see. I'm not seeing them here. Well, you guys can, let's look at some other pages that would have it. Gilman does not. Nailsville might. Let's take a look at Nailsville. Kara, if you're still watching, do you guys have the book carousel on your home cover? I don't see it there, but I think they have a new materials page. There we go. So Somerset is focusing on your STEM books for kiddos, nonfiction. And Kara broke it out into new DVDs, new fiction, new nonfiction, new kids. This looks like teens and kids kind of mixed in together. Pretty cool. Coco. I watched this weekend with my kid. That was pretty fun. Staff picks, those are always a hit.
Oh, that's a great idea. Is there a way, though? It looks like those images are different sizes, which is disconcerting to me. Is there a way to make them uniform?
You bet. So, inside carousel slider, if we want to edit the DVDs, I'm not going to make any save changes, but what you can do is select the image size here, right? So it'll give you a consistent height, but then your image needs to fill that height. So Jenny, you are very comfortable in Canva. You could go to your Canva account, and I'm just going to use mine as an example here. And you could say custom dimensions. I want the height to be 300, well, not 3,000. And the width, gosh, what would those be? The width for the new materials on this page for her settings is about 270. So I would do, was it 270 or 170?
170.
Thank you. I'm not losing my mind. Okay. So if you want to make all your images standard sizes, you could just upload all your images here to make them that 300.
Okay.
And then when you download them, export them as a JPEG. So it is a little bit more work, and when that comes into play with DVD covers and maybe more square items. You know, DVDs are just a smaller, squatter image compared to nice, brisk book covers that are generally at least 300. This one might have been a little bit less than 300. You can see the difference there, but not by much.
I really like that. Broken it out with the colored bars separating them. That's very readable.
You bet. And you can tell that children's books are also a little bit more liberal with their different sizes.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on what you want going on. Yeah. So, questions for Kara about our 360 tours. Did she rent fisheye cameras or pay someone? Kara, do you want to chat or chime in? Because I know that this was her pet project. I'm looking at the chat, and we're talking about these here. I think Kara, did you borrow a camera? She might have stepped away. It is summer after all. Nope, she said nope. What does that mean? You did it with your cell phone, is that right? I remember you talking about your cell phone. Came with your phone. So the 360 thing must have come with your phone upgrade. Does that sound about right? And I know that there's Samsung 360 camera. I know that 260, good grief. Just curious to see what they're running for these days. I don't really want to do that. Okay. So over here, there's all these different kinds of prices. Gear watch. We don't want a watch. We want 360 cam. Shows you how to do it. I don't really see the price on here. You guys let me know if I'm crazy, but I don't see the price on here. Kara says that when she was doing, it took some finagling and a couple tries because she kept thinking the shelves in the adult section were walls, so she had to take double the shots and steps compared to the children's section. She did not use the Samsung to splice any images, and that would be on an outside free website. So it does take some effort, but what a cool thing. I'm just looking to see how much it would cost here. I don't know, maybe it's just relative per vendor, right? Who knows? So it doesn't look too that expensive, especially if it comes with a phone. So any other questions there? Oh, Kara said she also did not have a tripod, so they used the projector screen. Do you guys have any questions about anything else on your website that we could take a look at? Kara says the camera can see around corners to a certain extent, so they had to make sure they were, you know, whoever was holding the camera was well hidden. That's pretty funny. So, all right. It's about 1:52, so I'll hang out for a few more, maybe a minute or so here, unless we don't get any questions. But I'll chop this recording a little bit shorter and put it on the website and send out a link and a summary like we always do. But mark your calendars for July 20th at 1 p.m. because Kara from Neilsville, this website that we're currently on, she's going to talk about her search engine optimization plugin, and I'll be talking about the easier, smaller tasks that you can do to help your website appear higher on the Google search results or internet search results, Bing, Yahoo, whatever you're using.